Welcome back to Build Your Empire Through Real Estate. I'm your host, Alexis Salikas, and today I have a very special guest, near and dear to my heart, friend, client out of Wisconsin, Skylar. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So tell us, we're going to go through your bio, but for those that are listening, just give us like your little elevator pitch on who you are.
Ooh, I am obviously Skylar Liebzeit. I've been in real estate now 7 years. Held a TL role here at Keller Williams Fox Cities over the last year. Just hit 1 year in January. I'm a football coach. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. Hopefully, I'm knocking those two out. Better than anything is always my number one goal. But the other thing I am is I'm blessed. I'm blessed with a great family, great friends that are very supportive and that hold me accountable too. And I'm blessed with great leadership here within our market center.
I love that. I love that. And it's not a small one at that. You've grown to 122 agents as of this morning.
Yeah. We when I got here, we were hoping to keep it right around 100, right? And when I got here, I started my career here, and it was around like 200 some agents, and there was a fallout along the way, and they call me a boomerang in our KW world. You throw me away, and I end up coming back. So I launched my own team, brought my team back, and it's been great. Our growth has been truthfully about the agent. That's how I like to make my focus and hold high standards to who we bring into our world to continue to protect the culture that we've built here through my current OP's leadership. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into all of that. And for those that are listening, get ready to listen because Skylar has upheld a retention rate of over 90%. And just this year in 2026 alone, it's February 9th, he's brought in over 9 producing agents so far, and you have several in the works. So we're going to dive into some of those numbers and how you're doing this, role at such a high level while, meanwhile, running your mega team.
Yeah, it's been an adventure, and I wouldn't change it for anything, truthfully.
I love it. Well, let's do your official bio so that people can get to know you a little bit better, and then we're going to dive into the goods. So Skylar of Keller Williams Fox Cities, based in Appleton, Wisconsin, is a 7-year veteran in the real estate industry across the Northeast Wisconsin area. Skylar took over the team leader role in 2025 and has stomped on the growth gas pedal entering the role. In 2025, he netted 19 new agents, and in 2026 has onboarded 7 plus, now 9 top producing capping agents. Skylar has built a solid foundation of growth in his market center through his professionalism, attention to detail, and commitment to always putting the agent's needs first. He said, you studied exercise science. And afterwards began work in athletic administration. He's passionate about real estate. Skylar has continued to leverage his know-how and experience to exceed his clients' expectations. Active in the community, Skylar is proud to offer his free time to the, help me say it, football team.
Yeah, go Ghosts.
I love it. Where he coaches high school football and previously coached college football at Lawrence University. In his free time, Skylar is an avid outdoorsman and football coach, spending time with his wife and 3 children. Again, Skylar, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So tell us, those that are listening right now, tell us one success that you've had in this role, or the successes that you've had in this role that you ultimately attribute to the producing agents you've brought in. What are you doing consistently? What are you doing successfully?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I built into my calendar now, thanks to you, like your coaching has gave me the opportunity to be very, very intentional on my day to day. So I usually leave about 15-minute gaps, 3 to 4 of them throughout my day as I go around our office and say, hey, what do you need help with this week? How can I help you with your business? I actually just got done with a coaching call right before we hopped on this, and the agent came in and it's like, hey, I took our conversation that we had 2 weeks ago and I implemented it, and my business, I haven't had so much fun in real estate. I heard that same thing 5 times over the last 7 days from agents that are R2s or top producing agents in our market. Like, I have not had this fire for real estate since I got into it. Like, it's not about me, right? It's about them. Because without them, there isn't me. There isn't a TL role or anything, or VP of growth or whatever that title is. It's about the agents, and they're going to go out someday and tell that story. So all I've been doing really, and you and I coach on this a ton, is I'm just laying the foundation. And these people that we bring into our world are going to be the ones that help me build exactly what they want Keller Williams Fox Cities to look for. And one of the biggest things I always told everybody when I took this role a year ago is I'm going to outgrow this building. And you would have thought I had a third eye on my forehead when I said that. They all thought I was nuts. And lo and behold, we are in the process of transitioning to a new building as well. So that's been a lot of fun as things have been transpiring.
In 1 year, you have outgrown your building. If that is not a goal of everybody listening, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Right. So not only, so one of the things that you mentioned, and one of the things that I know just from personally working with you, is your uncanny ability to grow through your people. And I know that's a big goal of every brokerage owner, every team leader, no matter who's listening right now. Your growth has been very organic. Tell me a little bit more about how you're intentional around that.
It's 100% the relationships that we build, right? And I can transpire that back to being a football coach at the college level. And we were at a regional event about a month ago or so, and I went in front of the room and I said, guys, if I can go into a living room and have a family trust me to take their son and plant them in the Appleton, Wisconsin at a university that's high academic and pay to play college football, I can sure in the heck talk to a real estate agent about how I can make them a hell of a lot more money, right? Like, that's the reality of it, is like, I'm not here to save you money. And we've had this conversation 100 times. I think I'm here to make you a ton more money. So that way, when we sit down, the day that we sit down, you mark on your calendar, that's the best conversation you ever had in your business. And it's a confidence piece, right? I am so confident that I can do that for them because I've done it for myself and my mega agent team as well, that it's repeatable, right? It's a model and a system, right? They're able to be repeated and add your creativity just to make them that much better.
I love that. I have to ask, because there's some listening that are like, well, oh, of course he's so successful and confident because he's done it at the highest level. What would be the advice for a team leader or broker or OP or whoever's listening on this podcast today that maybe doesn't have that level of confidence or maybe has never experienced the real estate sales success that you have?
Yeah. Go in strategically, right? Grow with a standard. Have a standard set in place and just don't grow through desperation. The people that respect you the most are the ones that align with the standards and the expectations that you create, right? If you go in with no expectations and no standards, it's a free-for-all. But when you come in with standards, intentionality, and a game plan, that's where people are like, I want to be in partnership with you. I want to grow my business with you.
Yeah. That
gives you validity in a market when they can understand the entire process of the ins and the outs, and you know what you're talking about. If the best superhero power I have is having the opportunity to have worked in our market, and I can throw my real estate hat on all the time. And you challenged me on that when we first started coaching together. Is like, throw your real estate hat on, and what would resonate with you, and how would it be impactful to you? Think about how the real estate agent thinks, and don't think of adding people to your number count.
I love that. And a lot of your confidence I'm hearing has come right from your real estate sales background and having done it yourself. If somebody was just getting started in this role and maybe didn't have that, how would you coach them, or where would you tell them to go to gain that kind of confidence that you innately had from doing the sales yourself?
Start with conversations with those that are actually doing it. Go talk to your agents. Like, in our role, we aren't locked inside of a door. It's not like you're a princess stuck in the castle and you got to get through the dragon and go talk to everyone else, right? Go talk to your agents. Like, you can learn so much through them. Like, I am so blessed that I have a mega team here that have been here from the get-go. They've seen the highest of highs and they've seen the lowest of lows. And they tell me flat out, they're like, do this. And if you're going to do this, come in with a strategy for it. And don't do this because this is what other team leaders before you have done. And it hasn't resonated well with the agents. Right? We have 2 ears for a reason. Listen to what your agents need and what they want, and then have real conversations with the leadership around you, which is why you've created that strong bench around you of those people, and work together to make things a reality for them. Like, we had it earlier this year. We had a lot of agents come over from a specific firm. Like, I did really, really well in 2025 of building a relationship with them. And they're like, hey, when we got here, we really missed dot loop. And like, we never had dot loop. But we sat down as a leadership group and we said, hey, how can we make their transition that much better? That's white carpet or red carpet, white glove experience for somebody. Is they're going to sit down and they're going to be like, man, I got over there and they listened to us and they took what we had to say in the consideration and they made it reality for my business, they're going to go tell everyone else about that. Just listen to your people.
Yeah, I love that. So good. So good. What is one thing you would say you do consistently that has gotten you to where you
The biggest thing I try to do, and I do this not just in business, I do this in life. I do this in my spiritual life. I've been very, very blessed. Try to just be just singular 1% better than I was the day before.
are?
And that may be, I may make the coffee for my wife tomorrow because I didn't do it today. Or I may take my kids to the park because they deserve my time just as much as my business and my wife does too. When I get into the office, I'm going to ask one more person, how can I help them today? I'm going to make one extra phone call to somebody I've never met before to create the relationship. Like, that's where I think it gets lost. When I'm coaching football, our team's got to be 1% better than they were yesterday so we can compete for a state championship when it comes November time. Like, right. That's how we wire those mindsets. I attribute a lot of my success to what I've learned through sports. Accountability, trust, teamwork. Like, this is what this is. Real estate doesn't have to be a lonely world. It's a team atmosphere, and you can learn so much through collaboration and teamwork. And you can ask anybody that I've met with in our market. One thing that you'll hear come out of my mouth every single time is I'm going to rip down the walls of real estate in Northeast Wisconsin. I'm just going to build one big, great table that we all have a seat at.
I love that. And what I'm hearing and what I know about you is you're a big thinker, right? What I really admire about you is, though you're a big thinker, you're not afraid to execute on the small dominoes to get to the big one. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what was one of those small dominoes that it was hard in the beginning for people to be able to relate? How did you overcome it?
To understand that we aren't running a sprint. Like, I talked about a little bit in my bio is I stomped on the gas pedal right away, right? And I had a lot of success. And then March hit and it was a little bit slower. And I think that's when you and I first connected. And I was like, man, I'm not doing enough. Like, you always had that little voice in the back of your head. It's like, are you doing enough today? Are you doing enough? I was like, I'm laying the foundation, right? They don't put the roof on the house before the foundation's poured. Right. Yeah. We're playing the long game. And that's one thing that my OP, myself, bringing you into the conversation, that's where we brought it full circle, was like, stop playing the short game and start playing the long game. You're not going anywhere, right? And we're bringing people into our world that are seeing the benefits of playing the long game, and so is our market center. It's like, we will cap manage somebody for a year plus, and then we'll talk about disappearing caps, and like, that is playing the long game instead of like, hey, come here right now, be a number in our roster count, but then you fall off in 6 months. Like, that's not what we're doing. We're building something really, really special. And that's what our agents are really finding out, is like, we're not just in this for the short game. We're here for you, for your career, until the day you decide to retire.
I love it. And your messaging is clear. There's a lot of team leaders and people out there in our industry that I've worked with that don't have such a clear vision. And you can tell that you are clear because you eloquently speak it, right? And I think that likely, from what I know of you, shows up in those attraction, recruiting, needs analysis, consultative appointments with top producers, that they have the confidence and clarity from the top down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I try to make it as clear to them as I can when I meet with them, is this organization is unlike any other, right? We are the floor in this thing, right? And you are the ceiling. And KWRI has done a great job of telling that story even in the month of January. But like, that's something that my OP Laura Thompson and I have been talking about, is like, we are just their base. The growth and the potential for them and their businesses is going to take off when they get here. And that's our job to make sure that they feel that happen the entire time.
Yeah, I love that. You know, we covered briefly one of the most incredible statistics that I think we've seen on this podcast, which is over a 90% retention rate. I mean, you're net positive with regularity. You're not losing agents, even though NAR would suggest we lose over 30%, no matter even if we offer them the entire enchilada for free or not. Mm-hmm. You're far exceeding those national averages. What do you do outside of what we've already talked about that you're super proud of that you can attribute to that?
I can relate. I can relate to what the industry is doing. I have real conversations about what the industry is doing. I try to be as authentic with those that I meet inside of our office. And again, I talked about it a little bit earlier, is the relationship is what is the most critical piece on this thing. Is if they don't feel like they have a voice, and this is why I moved my business back to Keller Williams. If you ever sat down with Laura Thompson and asked her, hey, why did Skylar move his business back to KW? It was because number one, I needed to have a place for my agents to grow and learn. And number two is I had to have the opportunity for my voice to be heard and not stuck in a box. Not just being another real estate agent on your roster, but being able to actually sit in the associate or the leadership council, the ALC, and hear what's going on within the company. Like when my one stop between KW and KW was a blessing and a curse. Number one, I wish my business would have never left KW. That's the curse side of it. But the blessing is I found out what was outside of what Keller Williams was. And I could speak to the other agents that are like, hey, I got a call from so-and-so and they're throwing me the whole world and the moon and the stars. I'm like, great. Now I'll go ask them what a 12-month training calendar looks like. How are they going to grow your business? What are they going to do for you outside of just throw you some money? Again, I'm not here to save you money. I'm here to make you so much more than what you anticipate that you can. If we show up and we follow what Gary has really laid out for us. And that's where it's been a blessing on that side of it.
Yeah, what I hear you saying is, like you said, relatability and also finding out that the grass is greener where you water it. And that's
100%.
Just one of my absolute favorite sayings, right? I reiterate on the podcast often. For as much success as you've had, obviously, especially with our relationship, I know there's been some challenges. Share with those listening, what would you say the biggest challenge you've had in this role? And, share with those, how have you overcome it?
I had to have some real realizations. I had to feel the pain, just like what we talk about when you talk with an agent, is they got to feel the pain a little bit, right? And I found out that when you are growing a company, it's not always best to go where you're comfortable. It's best to go after those that are the ones that are continued to raise the lid in your company, and that's going to naturally and organically attract. And when I say that into more layman's terms is I spent too much time spending on the $2 and $3 million producer, which those people have a ton of value. And I hope that nobody loses sight on that. But that wasn't my strong suit. My strong suit was having connections with those with like-minded growth and top producers that I was once the big fish in the pond. Best thing about KW is that brings you back to reality, because like there is always somebody out there that might be just a little bit bigger. And that's what I love most about this company, is they make you think like you're the small fish and you're growing to be that big fish. And that's what I think is the most powerful piece. So I spent my time going after the biggest agents in our market. And reason being is because those are the ones I want to associate with and I want to grow with. I want to have real conversation with, and having conversations with them, and a middle tiered agent or a new agent comes into that room and hears the conversations. That's where powerful agents come from. Those that are able just to absorb and be a sponge of high level conversation. And that's where we focused a lot of our trainings now. We coach to our top agents, and we allow those that want to have an aspiration to be one of those top agents someday to come in and just hear what the conversation's really like.
Yeah, I love that. Building a calendar around like a brokerage full of top agents, right? Mm-hmm. Like there are some contracts, courses, and things that obviously help your lower producing or maybe new agents really get into production, right? The things that we really need. But building your calendar, what I hear you with the focus and emphasis on if you had all mega agents running around.
100%.
Because that's how
our goal is to make them all mega agents. If that's what their aspiration is, like, I got to give you the tools now and you take small pieces of it. It's like going to the family reunion and taking one piece and applying it to your business instead of trying to grab it all and throw it at the whole thing. We're going to take one piece at a time.
Yeah. I love it. What would you say the biggest system driver? So we talk a lot about systems on the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Running brokerages, systems are key, right? Sometimes we walk into a market center or brokerage that have great systems, and some we have to I always say burn the building down and rebuild. So tell me, what is one of the biggest system drivers that you can attribute to your recruiting and growth results? And was it something you inherited or something you built?
It is something that I inherited. It sounds so elementary when I put it on paper, and it's a tool that we use every single week, and it's a 411. I'm goal driven, and I got to break down goals to be achievable, and I color code everything in my 411 now, and making my 411 match to my time block. And it sounds so simple, right? And like I was running a great team before moving it back here, but I wasn't intentional enough. So last week, Tuesday, for example, I sat in front of our stakeholder meeting and we taught on the 411 and time block. And I went around to the office afterwards and I said, hey, did you find value in today's stakeholder meeting? They're like, heck yeah. And then today, being a Monday, I said, hey, if you want to be held accountable to what you guys are aspiring to do, send it to me on Monday. And today I've gotten 5 411s and I have to send mine every single week to my OP. Like, that's iron sharpening iron all the way across the board.
Yeah, I love that.
It sounds so simple, right? So simple, but it's such a useful tool.
Keep it simple, right? Like, I mean, it is the true value of foundational building systems, and keeping it simple, I think, is just like the perfect reiteration of what you just said. And I personally, I couldn't agree more, right? Awesome. Clarity is power. I love it. What's a question I haven't asked you that at this point our listeners would love to know the answers to, or I should have asked?
I think I don't know if they're really questions, but I think there's two powerful things that I probably didn't hit on enough, that I wish I would have maybe even heard a little bit earlier in my career. And I jotted them down just so I don't misphrase them. Again, we are playing the long game, but you have to act on that daily and breaking that thing down and peeling back, get past surface level, like get so far past surface level and dive deep with conversations and get to know people. We're in a people industry that we help people do some of the most extraordinary things and be the biggest givers in the world. Play the long game, but act on those things daily. One little piece, get 1% better. And then the other piece that I think is so critical in this role is to get your leadership bench right so early on. There were some things that I had to work through, and I don't want to make it sound like I knocked it out of the park right out the gate. There's learning curves, right? Like I go to our regional call and I'm like, hey, Skylar, tell us all about your successes. That's great, but I've also gone through the learning curves too, and sometimes a little piece of humble pie of a struggle makes me even better yet. One of the best things I did early on is I had real conversations with our leadership, laid out real expectations, and said, hey, there's nothing that our agents want to never hear out of your mouth, and that's, I don't have time for you. And that's one thing that we rewired our brains about really early on, is you always have time, because without them, you don't have us. And when we walk through our office, there's one wall that's the most important in this entire place, and it has every single face of Keller Williams Fox Cities on the back wall. When I take a recruit through our office, I say the exact same thing. When I get back there, I say, this is the most important place here, because agents like them are the reason that we have these walls, and I get to walk you through them today.
I love that. That's taking the power walk to a whole new level.
I love it. That's my favorite recruiting tool, is the tour of the office.
Yeah. And coaching your leadership around what to expect and how you expect them to show up during that, right? I mean, it's so good. It's so critical.
You stand up, you shake their hand at the door, you give them a smile, you introduce yourself, and you take any questions that they have about your role. Like, that is the power of Keller Williams.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. Any good books you'd recommend, or any last pieces of advice?
Oh, man, I am not a great reader. It's on my 411, actually, and Laura's been poking me on it now for a couple of weeks. My 411 for this month is I am going to start a book and finish it within the end of first quarter.
Good.
So I don't have a great read for you.
Now you have all the listeners holding you accountable as well.
I know. If you ever, like, one book that always has resonated with me really, really well, and it does kind of resonate to my role today, is the book Shaken written by Tim Tebow. If you don't know who Tim Tebow is, he was obviously the University of Florida quarterback, won 2 Heismans, got tossed around the NFL. Everyone said he wasn't good enough, yada, yada. The book will speak for itself about where, if you want to know how I think, there it is. Very sports oriented. Best piece of advice is keep your ears always open. Sometimes you got to let them guide you, not just your eyes, and really recruit with the standard, because you are what you condone in real estate and in life. If you condone it, you're allowing it to happen, and that's going to continuously become the standard. So set real standards and hold true to them. And that's protecting your culture. That's protecting your people. That's protecting your leadership, because one bad thing or one bad cultural fit can rip the walls down. And then you're starting from square one again.
Yeah, amen to that. Awesome, Skylar. You have just been, I mean, this is a wealth of knowledge. And I just want to say thank you for sharing, because truly you have not only come into a market center, like you said, it was bleeding agents and had team leader turnover. And obviously your OP there had built an amazing culture. But like you said, if you let the wrong people in, it's hard to uphold. And you inherited, a market center that you've just been able to not only turn around, but thrive in and thrive amongst those agents that are with you, joining you. And I just want to say thank you for sharing, because it's been gold today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
And
thanks for all you do. If you guys haven't had the chance to sit down with Alexis, take that opportunity.
I appreciate you, Skylar. Thank you for that. And if they want to find more of you, where can they find you? Social media, email, what do you prefer?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, but that's mostly all football related. So you can find me, any of my contact information, pretty easy to find. So I love to be a resource in any way, shape, or form.
Awesome, Skylar. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you. See ya.